Enjoy your trip to Japan. Chugoku, Shikoku region. Enjoy your trip to Japan. Recommended hidden tourist spots in the Chugoku and Shikoku regions. The Chugoku and Shikoku regions have many hidden gems that foreign tourists can enjoy. Here are some tourist spots in Chugoku and Shikoku where you can learn more about nature, history, and culture. History of Mt. Daisen Tottori Prefecture. Mount Daisen has been worshipped as an object of mountain worship since ancient times. During the Nara period, Daishenji Temple was founded and flourished as a place of Buddhist training. Pilgrims came to Mt. Daisen, and it became a major base for Shugendo. Attractions. Daisen Dera Temple, a Buddhist temple founded in the Nara period, it is an important cultural asset with a long history. The main hall and Sanbutsuji Temple are worth seeing. Agamiyama Shrine Okumiya. This shrine is the central shrine of Oyama faith and has a solemn atmosphere. The stone-paved approach to the shrine blends in with the scenery of each season, and is especially beautiful in autumn when the leaves change color. Masumizu Plateau, a plateau located midway up Mt. Daisen, with vast pastureland. On a clear day, you can see all the way to the Sea of Japan. Trekking and mountain climbing trekking courses are open from spring to autumn. And there are a variety of routes available, from beginner courses to full-scale mountain climbing courses. Winter ski resorts. In winter, it is a bustling resort where you can enjoy skiing and snowboarding. Daisen White Resort is famous and attracts many tourists. Access. Train and bus. There is a local bus service from JR Yonago Station, which takes about 50 minutes to the Daishenji bus stop. From there you can walk to the trailhead and tourist spots. By car, take the Chugoku Expressway or the Yonago Expressway and exit at the Daisen IC. It takes about 20 minutes to get to Daishenji Temple and Masumizu Plateau. There is ample parking, so it is convenient to rent a car. Things to note when visiting. 1. Weather. Mt. Daisen is a high mountain and the weather can change easily. In winter, the snow is heavy and the weather is very cold, so you need to be properly equipped. When hiking or trekking, be sure to bring cold weather gear and rain gear. Check the climbing routes. Mt. Daisen has a wide range of climbing routes, from beginner to advanced. It is important for beginners to choose well-maintained routes and make a reasonable plan. Seasonal precautions. Even during the summer climbing season, it can get chilly in the early mornings and evenings. If you visit in winter, you will need ski or snowboard equipment and make reservations for accommodation early. Nature conservation. Mt. Daisen is part of a national park. Please take your trash home with you and do not ignore nature in order to protect it. Please follow the rules, especially in wildlife conservation areas. Summary. Mount Daisen is also known as Hoki Fuji due to its unique shape, and is selected as one of the 100 famous mountains in Japan. You can enjoy trekking and mountain climbing from spring to autumn, and skiing and snowboarding in winter, making it a spot where you can enjoy beautiful scenery and abundant nature throughout the seasons. Tamanora, Hiroshima Prefecture. History. Tamanora has played an important role as a hub for maritime transportation since ancient times. It is said that people were already living there during the Yayoi period, and it was mentioned in the Manyoshu anthology during the Nara period. Tamanora's role as a port waiting for the wind became especially important after the Muromachi period. A wind waiting port is a port where ships sailing in the Seto Inland Sea stay to wait for the wind and tides. Due to its shape, Tamanora was valued as a safe anchorage for ships. During the Edo period, goods were gathered here from all over the country and it flourished as a port town. A famous historical event is that Yoshiaki Ashikaga stayed in Tamanora in 1576. And it is said that he conducted negotiations that later led to the restoration of imperial rule. It is also said that the beautiful scenery was the inspiration for the setting of the animated film, Ponyo on the Cliff. And it is often used as a filming location for movies and TV dramas. As a tourist destination that retains the atmosphere of a good old Japanese port town, it attracts tourists from both indoors and out. Attractions. Joyato. This stone lighthouse is the symbol of Tamanora and has been protecting the safety of the seas since the Edo period. A historic building that blends into the harbor scenery. Taicho Aro. This building is said to be where Ryoma Sakamoto stayed for a time. It is a viewing spot with a spectacular view of the Seto Inland Sea and the ships passing by. Tamanora History and Folklore Museum. A facility where you can learn about the history and culture of Tamanora, introducing its role as a port town and the culture that is deeply rooted in the region. Tomo Castle Ruins. The ruins of a castle built during the Muromachi period, a place with a historical atmosphere. It is now a park, overlooking the whole of Tamanora. Go Funayato Iroha, a restored old inn from the Meiji period where you can experience the history of Tomonora. Access train and bus. Get off at Fukuyama Station. On the Junior Sanyo Shinkansen. There is a bus bound for Tomonora from Fukuyama Station, and the desired travel time is about 30 minutes. Car. Approximately 30 minutes from the Sanyo Expressway, Fukuyama Higashi IC. There are parking lots around Tomonora, but there are many narrow roads, so care should be taken when driving large vehicles. Things to note when visiting: 1. Prepare comfortable walking shoes. Tomonora is an old port town with many slopes and cobblestone streets. As most of the sightseeing will be done on foot, we recommend wearing comfortable walking shoes. Busy times: many tourists visit during holidays and tourist seasons, especially spring and autumn. By arriving early or on a weekday, you can avoid the crowds and enjoy the town at your leisure. Environmental awareness: Tomonora is home to many historical buildings and is an area where environmental conservation efforts are progressing. Please be mindful of your actions to protect the town's culture and the environment, such as taking your trash home with you and sightseeing quietly. Summary: Tomonora is a port town where the townscape blends with the beautiful scenery of the Seto Inland Sea, and where a strong historical atmosphere remains. It is a spot where you can enjoy historical buildings and scenery, and experience the atmosphere of old Japan in a relaxed atmosphere. Naoshima Kagawa Prefecture history: Naoshima has a long history, and the names Naoshima Shrine and Naoshima Clan can be seen in the Heian period. However, there have been few notable historical events or activities until modern times, and for a long time, fishing and agriculture were the main occupations. However, in the 1980s, with an eye to the future of Naoshima, Benesse Holdings, formerly Fukutaki Bookstore, began an art project, and the entire island was transformed into an island of art. This became the foundation of Naoshima today, and with the support of Benesse, many projects involving artists have been developed. Highlights: 1. Chichu Art Museum, an underground art museum, designed by architect Tadao Ando. It is almost invisible from above ground, as it is in harmony with nature. The exhibition rooms are also illuminated with natural light, and the appearance of the exhibits changes depending on the time and weather. Highlights: the museum itself is a work of art, and the interior and exterior design of the building is integrated with nature. Viewers can view the artwork in silence and enjoy the changing light effects over time. Benesse House Museum, a complex that combines a hotel and an art museum, operated by Benesse Holdings. Guests staying at the hotel have the privilege of being able to freely view the art inside the museum at night, allowing them to enjoy contemporary art throughout the day and night. Highlights: a unique environment where the scenery of the Seto Inland Sea and art come together. The appeal of the open-air sculptures, which are displayed in the natural surroundings, is that visitors can freely explore them while strolling around. Art House Project. This is an art project taking place in the Hanmura area, where old houses on the island are being renovated and open to the public as contemporary art pieces. Each house is its own unique art space, allowing you to experience a special blend of local history and culture with art. Highlights: a fusion of traditional Japanese architecture and modern art. The house itself functions as a work of art. Tourists can experience a new perspective on art as well as the island's history. Yayoi Kusama's pumpkin object. The pumpkin object by Yayoi Kusama is a symbol of Naoshima. A giant pumpkin sculpture with yellow and black polka dots located at the southern tip of the island. Ando Museum, a museum related to Tadao Ando. Located in the Hanmura district of Naoshima, this unique building combines the exterior of a traditional Japanese house with a modern concrete structure inside. Highlights: there are exhibits on the works of architect Tadao Ando, where you can experience his unique architectural style and philosophy. Lee Yufan Museum of Art. This museum, designed by Tadao Ando, exhibits the works of Korean contemporary artist Lee Yufan. Highlights: a tranquil space where natural elements, architecture, and art come together, allowing you to immerse yourself in Lee Yufan's simple yet philosophical world of work. Nature and scenery on the island. Naoshima is a place where you can enjoy not only art but also the beautiful natural scenery of the Seto Inland Sea. We also recommend renting a bicycle or using the bus to get around the island. Naoshima Public Bath. I Love You. A unique public bath designed by artist Shinro Otake. It can also be used as a regular public bath, and incorporates plenty of modern art elements. The bathroom is decorated with mosaic tiles and various other artworks, so you can enjoy art while you bathe. Outdoor art. Naoshima has contemporary artworks installed all over the place, including on the beach, in parks, and in the forest, making the whole island into an art gallery. Highlights: many of the artworks are installed to blend in with the natural surroundings and can be discovered while walking around the island. So you'll come across new artworks every time you explore. There are many photo spots that you can enjoy casually. How to get there? It takes about 50 minutes by ferry from Takamatsu Port in Kagawa Prefecture to Miyanoura Port in Naoshima. From Uno Port, arrive at Miyanoura Port in about 20 minutes by ferry from Uno Port in Okayama Prefecture. Access by car: you can bring your car on the ferry. But the general rule of thumb for sightseeing on Naoshima is to walk, rent a bicycle, or use the bus. Because the tourist areas are compact, traveling by car is often not necessary. Things to note when visiting: necessity of advance reservations. Chichu Art Museum and some art facilities may require advance reservations, so we recommend checking the website before visiting and making a reservation. Prepare cash: some facilities and stores may not accept credit cards, so it is advisable to bring enough cash with you. Pay attention to ferry times. Ferry services are limited, so you need to plan ahead and make sure you don't miss the return ferry from Naoshima. Please check the operation status in advance, especially during peak tourist season or in bad weather. Season and clothing. Summer is particularly hot, and winter is often windy, so you need to prepare accordingly. Use of rental bicycles. Renting a bicycle is a convenient way to get around the island. The best way to get around the island efficiently is by bicycle, and there are also electric assist bicycles available for rental, so you can comfortably tour Naoshima, which has many hills. Summary: Naoshima is a small island in the Seto Inland Sea, located in Kagawa Prefecture, and is known as a unique tourist destination where art and nature coexist in harmony. It is a place where modern art and architecture come together, so you can enjoy it to the fullest by taking your time to explore it. Mihanasseki Shimaine Prefecture. Mihanasseki Shimaine Prefecture is a place steeped in myth and history, and is an area where you can enjoy beautiful scenery and cultural heritage. History and ancient mythology. Mihanasseki is an ancient port that is also mentioned in the Azumo no Kuni Fudoki, and is a place that has deep ties to the gods that appear in mythology. In particular, Miho Shrine is an important shrine that enshrines Ebisu, the god of fishing and business. It has been a place of worship for fishermen and merchants since ancient times. Mihanasseki, a key port connecting the Sea of Japan with the inland, flourished as a hub of maritime traffic from the Heian period through to the Kamakura period. Prosperity in the Edo period. During the Edo period, it developed further as a port of call for kitame ships, with many merchants and sailors passing through. Attractions. Miho Shrine. This shrine has long been worshipped as the guardian deity of the fishing industry, and is a rare shrine in Japan that enshrines Daikoku and Ebisu. Miho Shrine is characterized by its large-scale worship hall, and its stately architecture is a sight to behold. Mihanasseki Lighthouse. This white lighthouse was built in 1898 and is one of Japan's 50 best modern lighthouses. It stands 150 meters above sea level, a popular spot with a spectacular view of the Sea of Japan. You can see Miho Bay and Mt. Daisen, and if the weather is good you can even see the Oki Islands in the distance. Blue Cobblestone Street. The stone-paved streets were built in the Edo period, and the townscape from that time when it flourished as a port of call for kitame ships remains. The charming streets are paved with blue stone and dotted with old merchant and private homes, allowing you to enjoy the traditional scenery. Mihanasseki Fishing Port. A fishing port where you can enjoy fresh seafood. There are also restaurants where you can enjoy freshly caught seafood on the spot. Every December, a festival is held around the fishing port, featuring 2 ancient boats that recreate the myth of the transfer of the country. Events such as the Marote Fun Shinto ritual are also held here, making it a popular destination for tourists. Access by car. From Matsu Station approximately 40 minutes by car, approximately 30 kilometers from Yonago Station, approximately 1 hour by car, approximately 50 kilometers from Azumo Airport, approximately 1 hour by car, approximately 60 kilometers by bus. Take the Ichibata bus bound for Mihanasseki from Matsu Station and get off at the last stop, Mihanasseki Bus Terminal. The journey takes approximately 1 hour. Ferry from Sakaiminato about 30 minutes. By ferry to Mihanasseki, you can access the park from the sea while enjoying the view. Important points to note when visiting: season and clothing. Mihanasseki is located on the coast, and it is particularly windy and cold in winter, so you will need to take measures to protect yourself from the cold. Even in summer, there is a sea breeze, so it's a good idea to bring a jacket. Access to the lighthouse. To get to Mihinaseki Lighthouse, you need to walk from the parking lot. As the trail is quite steep, we recommend wearing comfortable walking shoes. Manners at shrines and historical sites when visiting Miho Shrine and other shrines and temples. Please be respectful of local beliefs and pray quietly. It is expected to be particularly crowded on festival days, so it is best to check in advance to ensure a smooth visit. Check traffic times. There are few buses to Mihinaseki, so if you use public transportation, you need to check the return time carefully. Ferries also have limited operating hours, so it's a good idea to check the timetable in advance. Summary: Mihinaseki is a historic port town that has existed since ancient times, and is a tourist destination where you can enjoy beautiful nature and cultural heritage. A perfect place to enjoy some quiet time and history and nature. Shikoku Karst Kochi Prefecture. Ehime Prefecture. Shikoku Karst is one of the 3 major karst regions in Japan, and is a scenic region that stretches across the border between Kochi Prefecture and Ehime Prefecture, with a continuous plateau at an altitude of about 1,400 meters. History: Shikoku Karst is said to have been formed by the uplift of ancient limestone approximately 250 million years ago. Limestone formed on the ocean floor rose over a long period of time, and the current unique topography was created through erosion by wind, rain and water. History of grazing. The Shikoku Karst has long been used as a pasture for cattle and horses. Especially on the Ehime side, cattle are still grazing there, creating an idyllic landscape. Attractions: Tengu Plateau. Located in the center of the Shikoku Karst at an altitude of about 1,485 meters, this plateau offers a 360-degree panoramic view. On a clear day, you can see the Shikoku Mountains and the Seto Inland Sea in the distance. The sight of the rows of wind turbines for generating electricity is unique, and you can enjoy the tranquil scenery with the cows grazing in the pastures. Mezurudera is a vast plain located on the Ehime Prefecture side. Mezurudera is a vast plain located on the Ehime Prefecture side. There is also a campground and an observation deck. Drive through the highlands and enjoy the unique landscape of grasslands and limestone formations. The campsite is also famous for being able to see a starry sky. Shikoku Karst Road. Road in the Sky is a scenic road that runs along the top of the Shikoku Karst, connecting Kochi Prefecture and Ehime Prefecture. Especially in the autumn, the contrast between the colorful trees and the blue sky is spectacular. Tengu So accommodation. Located in Tengu Plateau, the restaurant serves dishes made with local ingredients, with the ingredients grown in the pure waters of the Shimanto River being especially popular. Guests can enjoy the starry sky at night. Access by car. From Kochi City about 2.5 hours, by car about 90 kilometers. The most common route is to go to Shikoku Karst via Shimanto Town and Susaki City on the way. From Matsuyama City approximately 2.5 hours by car. Approximately 100 kilometers there is a route that passes through Uchiko Town and Kamakajin Town. Shikoku Karst Road, connecting Kochi and Ehime Prefectures, a great drive, with spectacular views of the Shikoku Karst. Public transport. There is little public transport around Shikoku Karst, so it is recommended to travel by car. When using public transportation, it is common to take a taxi or rent a car from the nearest city or town. Things to note when visiting: be aware of the weather. Shikoku Karst is at a high altitude, so the weather is prone to change, and sudden cold spells and fog can occur. Especially from autumn to winter. It is necessary to take measures against the cold and prepare for changes in the weather. Caution when driving. On rainy or foggy days, visibility may be poor, so please drive safely and reduce your speed. Nature conservation and etiquette. In order to protect the precious natural environment of Shikoku Karst, it is important to observe etiquette when visiting, such as not taking trash home with you and not picking plants or flowers. Also, be careful not to come into contact with grazing cattle. The highlands are often windy, and cold winds can blow, especially in spring and autumn. It's a good idea to bring cold weather gear. Also, because of the high altitude, the sunlight can be strong, so don't forget to take precautions against sunburn. Stargazing. Shikoku Karst has little light pollution, and is known as a spot where you can enjoy a starry sky at night. Summary: Shikoku Karst is one of Japan's most beautiful highlands, a spectacular spot where you can feel the breath of nature. It is one of the highlights of tourism in Shikoku, where you can enjoy magnificent scenery and topography created by the forces of nature since ancient times. Keishaku Gorge. Hiroshima Prefecture. Okayama Prefecture. History of geological formation. Taishaku Gorge is a karst topography, formed by the erosion of limestone by rivers over millions of years. And you can see limestone caves and cliffs caused by the erosion of limestone. Development as a tourist destination. It has been developed as a tourist destination since the Meiji era, and is now loved by both domestic and international tourists as a beautiful valley. Selected as one of the 100 most scenic spots in Japan. The sightseeing boats on the Taishaku River and the natural beauty of the Four Seasons are particularly popular. Attractions. Lake Shinryu is an artificial lake, created by damming the Taishaku River and is surrounded by beautiful valleys and trees. There are sightseeing boats that go around the lake, and you can enjoy the magnificent scenery of the valley on a 30-minute cruise. It is especially beautiful in the autumn when the leaves change color and in the spring when the new greenery emerges, making it a famous photo spot. Onbashi Bridge is one of the 3 largest natural bridges in Japan, and is a bridge formed naturally by a natural limestone arch. It boasts an overwhelming scale of 90 meters in width and 40 meters in height. You can walk under the bridge and get a real sense of its size. There are hiking trails nearby, so you can enjoy the surrounding nature while taking a stroll. Hakundo is a 200 meters long limestone cave in the Taishaku Gorge. Inside you can see beautiful, naturally formed rock formations that have earned it the nicknames Dragon Palace and Hakuryu Falls. The inside of the cave is lit up, allowing you to enjoy the mystical sight of the stalactites and stone pillars in a fantastical atmosphere. Taishikakyo Observatory and Observation Deck, overlooking Lake Shinryu and the entire Taishikakyo Gorge. The season of autumn leaves and fresh greenery. The highlight of Taishaku Gorge is the autumn foliage, when the entire valley is dyed red and yellow, boasting overwhelming beauty. In addition, in the spring, the area is filled with vibrant greenery, creating a vibrant landscape. Access by car. From Hiroshima City about 1.5 hours by car. About 90 kilometers exit the Chugoku Expressway at Shobara IC and head towards Taishikakyo via National Route 183. From Okayama City approximately 2.5 hours by car, approximately 140 kilometers. Take the Sanyo Expressway to Fukuyama Higashi IC, then take National Route 182 towards Naimi City. Bus. There is a bus bound for Taishikakyo from JR Shobara Station, but as there are few buses, we recommend checking the timetable in advance. Important points to note when visiting: dress appropriately for the season. Taishikakyo is located in a mountainous area, so the temperature is low, especially from autumn to winter. It is recommended that you take proper precautions against the cold and wear warm clothing. Even in summer, there is a cool breeze, so it is a good idea to bring a jacket. Bring comfortable walking shoes. There are many spots to explore on foot, such as Abasha Bridge, Hakun Cave, and the observation deck, so we recommend wearing comfortable shoes. Be aware of sightseeing boat operating times. The operating hours of the Lake Shinryu sightseeing boats may vary depending on the weather and season. So it is a good idea to check the operating hours in advance. Crowds during autumn foliage season. During the autumn foliage season, many tourists visit the area, so parking lots and tourist spots can get crowded. Early mornings and weekdays are relatively quiet, allowing you to enjoy sightseeing smoothly. Protection of the natural environment. Taishaku Gorge is an area with a precious natural environment. Please take your trash with you and do not use fires except in designated areas. In particular, the area around Abasha Bridge and inside the limestone cave are protected areas, so please be sure to observe the restricted areas. Summary. Taishaku Gorge is a valley that spans between Shobara City, Hiroshima Prefecture and Naimi City, Okayama Prefecture, and is designated as part of the Quasi-National Park, West Chugoku Mountains Quasi-National Park. It is a beautiful gorge with a total length of about 18 kilometers. And is a tourist spot filled with natural attractions such as strange rocks, limestone caves, and lakes. Shimanami Kaido, Ehime Prefecture, Hiroshima Prefecture history. The Shimanami Kaido is a maritime route that opened in 1999 and connects Honshu Onamichi City, Hiroshima Prefecture and Shikoku Imabari City, Ehime Prefecture. 6 islands in the Seto Inland Sea are connected by bridges, forming a route of approximately 60 kilometers in length. The 10 bridges connecting the islands were constructed using cutting-edge bridge technology, with the Tatara Bridge and Kurushima Kaikyo Bridge being particularly noteworthy for their beautiful arches and suspension bridge structures. Installation of bicycle paths. As the world's first transoceanic bicycle path, the Shimanami Kaido has bicycle-only lanes and is attracting attention from tourists, both at home and abroad, as a cycling mecca. Attractions. Onamichi City starting point on the Hiroshima side. Onamichi has flourished as a port town since ancient times, and its historic streetscape remains. There are many tourist spots such as Senkoji Temple, Cat's Narrow Road, and Onamichi Ramen. There are many tourist spots such as Senkoji Temple, Cat's Narrow Road, and Onamichi Ramen. Mukojima, which offers a panoramic view of the islands of the Seto Inland Sea, is a tranquil place dotted with beautiful beaches and orchards. The view of the mandarin orange fields is particularly attractive. Inoshima Island has many historical sites, such as the Inoshima Navy Castle, and is a place where you can learn about the history of the Murakami pirates. The view from Inoshima Bridge is also a highlight. Kosanji Temple in Sitoda, Ikuchijima, features magnificent architecture modeled after Nikko Toshogu Shrine. There is also the Hirayama Ikuo Museum where you can enjoy art. Lemons are a local specialty on the island, and lemon sweets are also popular. Omishima Island. Oyamazumi Shrine is an important historical spot on the Shimanami Kaido. It has been worshipped as the guardian deity of the Seto Inland Sea since ancient times, and the Treasure Museum displays Japan's oldest military equipment. Hakata Island. Hakata Island, known for its Hakata salt, has facilities where you can learn about the history and manufacturing methods of salt making, and is also home to beautiful beaches. The calm waters of Setachi and the white sand beaches are perfect for a relaxing time. Kurushima Kaikyo Bridge. The world's longest triple suspension bridge connects Imabari City and Oshima Island. You can enjoy spectacular scenery as you cross the Kurushima Strait, where the currents of the Seto Inland Sea are strong. Imabari City Ehime Prefecture endpoint in Imabari City. Famous for Imabari towels, you can enjoy the Towel Museum and Castle Town scenery. Imabari Castle is also one of the highlights, featuring a unique structure surrounded by the sea. Access by car. From Hiroshima, take the Shimanami Kaido from Onamichi IC and drive for 60 kilometers. You can get off at the interchanges on each island. From Ehime, take the Shimanami Kaido from Imabari IC and drive for about an hour to the Hiroshima side. Access by bicycle. Cycling course. The Shimanami Kaido is very popular with cyclists, and a dedicated cycling road has been developed from Onamichi to Imabari. Bicycle rental services are also available in various locations. Bus. There are express buses that run from Onamichi Station and Imabari Station to the Shimanami Kaido. There are also bus stops at key locations on each island, making it possible to tour the islands by bus. Ferry. You can get to Mukaishima from Onamichi by ferry, and it is often used as a starting point for cycling and driving trips. Things to note when visiting: preparation for bicycle use. When cycling, it is important to check the route and rest spots in advance. The Shimanami Kaido is about 60 kilometers long and includes some steep uphill sections. So plan your itinerary carefully, taking into account your physical strength and equipment. Watch the weather. The Seto Inland Sea region has a relatively mild climate, but strong winds and rain can be dangerous, especially when sightseeing by bicycle. It can get very windy on the bridge, so be sure to check the weather forecast before setting off. Although the Shimanami Kaido has bicycle-only lanes, there are some sections where bicycles share the same roads as cars. Cyclists must follow the rules of the road, especially when sharing roads with cars. Food and drink preparation. There are small restaurants and cafes on the islands, but some locations have few shops, so it's a good idea to bring drinks and snacks with you. Staying hydrated is important, especially when cycling for long periods of time. Tourist attraction opening hours. The tourist spots scattered across each island have different opening hours, so it is advisable to check before visiting. Advance reservations for accommodation. Accommodation along the Shimanami Kaido is particularly popular with cyclists, so it is recommended that you make reservations early on weekends and holidays. There are also campsites scattered across each island, allowing you to enjoy the outdoors. Check ferry times. Ferries are available on some routes, but operating hours and number of trips may be limited, so if you plan to use a ferry, it is a good idea to check the timetable in advance. Summary. The Shimanami Kaido is a valuable tourist route that crosses the islands of the Seto Inland Sea while enjoying natural beauty and history. It is a place that can be enjoyed in a variety of ways, including on foot, by bicycle, or by car, and is full of charm. Kurashiki Beacon. Historical Quarter Okayama Prefecture History. Kurashiki. In the Edo period, Kurashiki developed as a Tenryou territory directly controlled by the shogunate during the Edo period. White-walled storehouses and mansions lined the Kurashiki River, and served as a collection point for goods. Rice, salt, cotton, and other items were gathered in Kurashiki and transported by river to other areas. Industry in the Meiji period. During the Meiji period, the textile industry developed, Kurabo Industries was established, and the economy prospered further. This led to Kurashiki's growth as a center of not only commerce but also industry. Creation of a scenic area. In the 1970s, a movement began to preserve the historical townscape and develop it into a tourist destination. Today's Kurashiki Beacon Historical Quarter has been developed as a tourist spot while still retaining the townscape from the Edo to Meiji periods. Attractions. Scenery along the Kurashiki River. Along the Kurashiki River that runs through the center of Kurashiki Beacon Historical Quarter, white-walled storehouses and mansions stand side by side, giving you a taste of good old Japan. The willow trees and stone bridge along the river also accentuate the historic scenery. Ohara Museum of Art. This is Kurashiki's representative art museum, displaying a wide range of art, from works by Western masters such as El Greco, Renoir, and Van Gogh to contemporary art. It is also known as the oldest Western art museum in Japan. Kurashiki Archaeological Museum. This archaeological museum was renovated from a rice storehouse built in the Edo period, and displays artifacts and historical materials from ancient and medieval times. You can learn more about Kurashiki's history and culture. Ivy Square, a tourist facility built on the former site of the Kurashiki spinning mill. The red brick buildings and ivy-covered landscape are a distinctive feature of this area, and it is a popular spot for restaurants and shops. Enjoy shopping and dining while learning about the history of the textile industry. Machiya cafes and shops in the Beacon Historical Quarter. The Beacon Historical Quarter is dotted with cafes and shops that have been renovated from old houses and townhouses. Local crafts, art, and handmade goods are on sale, so you can enjoy a stroll around the area. Riverboat experience. You can enjoy the scenic townscape of the Kurashiki River while taking a riverboat ride. The view from the river with the boatman's guidance is exceptional. The scenery is especially beautiful during the cherry blossom season in spring and the autumn leaves in fall. Access by train. The Beacon Historical Quarter is about a 10-minute walk from Junior Kurashiki Station. Kurashiki Station is on the Sanyo Main Line and the Hakuba Line and can be accessed in about 15 minutes from Okayama Station. Access by car. It takes about 15 minutes by car from Kurashiki IC on the Sanyo Expressway to reach the scenic area. There are several paid parking lots around the Beacon Historical Quarter, but they tend to be busy, so it is recommended that you arrive early. Access by bus. There is a bus from Okayama Station to Kurashiki Beacon Historical Quarter, which takes about 30 minutes. Things to note when visiting the Beacon Historical Quarter is very popular with tourists, so it can get very crowded on weekends and holidays, especially during the spring and autumn tourist seasons. Consider visiting early in the morning or in the evening to enjoy the townscape at a quieter time. Traveling by foot. The Beacon Historical Quarter is primarily explored on foot, so we recommend wearing comfortable walking shoes. Museum opening hours. Facilities such as the Ohara Museum of Art and Kurashiki Archaeological Museum often close early in the evening, so it's a good idea to check their opening hours before visiting. If you are going to a popular restaurant, it is advisable to make a reservation in advance or visit during off-peak hours. Summary. Kurashiki Beacon Historical Quarter is an area where history and beautiful townscapes come together, allowing you to enjoy a relaxing time. You can also enjoy culture, art, and cuisine, so it's a good idea to plan your visit with plenty of time to explore. Cape Ashizuri. Kochi Prefecture History. Cape Ashizuri has long been considered a sacred place at the southern tip of Shikoku and has been worshipped as a place of nature worship. The cape also played an important role as a navigational landmark. Cape Ashizuri and Kobo Daishi. There is a legend that the Heian period monk Kobo Daishi Kakai visited Cape Ashizuri and practiced asceticism. For this reason, the cape is also part of the pilgrimage to the 88 temples of Shikoku, and is considered a miraculous place for worshippers. Establishment of the lighthouse. A lighthouse was erected at Cape Ashizuri in 1914 Taisho 3, and has played an important role in ensuring the safety of ships sailing around Shikoku. The lighthouse is still in operation today and is one of Japan's most important navigational aids. A huge arch-shaped cave, formed by natural erosion on the cliffs of Cape Hakusen. The sight of the waves crashing on the shore is impressive, and it's a spot where you can feel the greatness of nature. Tongo Fukuji Temple is the 38th temple on the Shikoku pilgrimage route, and is a popular stop for pilgrims visiting Cape Ashizuri. It is said that Kobo Daishi practiced his asceticism here and has been revered as a sacred place since ancient times. There are many stone monuments and Buddhist statues in the precincts, creating a quiet and solemn atmosphere. Statue of John Manjiro. Cape Ashizari is also the hometown of John Manjiro, who was active in America during the late Edo period. A memorial statue stands on the cape, a symbol of his courage and adventurous spirit as he traveled the world. Access by car. It is about a 3-hour drive from Kochi City, and the nearest interchange is Nakatosa IC, but it is a long drive from there. Cape Ashizari has a free parking lot, which is convenient for tourists. Access by train or bus. Take the Tosa Kuroshio Railway from Junior Kochi Station to Nakamura Station, then transfer to a bus to reach Cape Ashizari in about an hour and a half. Buses run only a limited number of times, so it's important to check the timetable in advance. Things to note when visiting Cape Ashizari. The sea breeze is strong, and it can be very cold, especially in winter. It is recommended that you come prepared with proper cold weather gear. On the other hand, the humidity is high and the sun is strong in the summer, so don't forget to wear a hat and sunscreen. Parts of the trail at Cape Ashizari are rocky and have steep steps, so it is important to wear comfortable shoes. Caution during typhoon season. Cape Ashizari faces the Pacific Ocean and is therefore an area susceptible to typhoons. It is important to check the weather and traffic conditions before visiting, especially during the autumn typhoon season. Tourist crowds. During Golden Week and Oban, many tourists visit the park, so the parking lot may fill up. If you visit early in the morning or in the evening, when the crowds are less likely to gather, you can enjoy sightseeing more smoothly. There are a limited number of restaurants and accommodations around the Cape. But they can be hard to book during the tourist season, so it's best to make reservations early. There are also restaurants where you can enjoy dishes made with fresh local seafood. Consideration for nature conservation. Cape Ashizari's natural environment is kept beautiful, so please take your trash with you and be considerate of the wildlife. Be careful not to damage the natural environment, especially near the coast. Summary. Cape Ashizari is a tourist spot where nature and history come together, and every time you visit there is something new to discover. You can spend time feeling nature and history while enjoying the magnificent views. Okunoshima, Hiroshima. Prefecture history. Okunoshima was an island where munitions factories were located from the Meiji period until 1945, and in particular chemical weapons were manufactured. After the war, the island was abandoned, but has since been returned to nature. Rabbit Island. In the 1970s, rabbits were released onto the island, and they multiplied, leading to the island becoming known as Rabbit Island. Today, the island is home to hundreds of rabbits and is a popular tourist spot. Tourism destination. Since the 2000s, it has been developed as a tourist destination, with parks and walking trails where visitors can interact with rabbits being built. Historical buildings remain, teaching visitors about the island's past. Attractions. A park where you can interact with rabbits. There are many rabbits living freely on the island, and visitors can interact with them. You can also feed the rabbits and have fun with them. Former Okunoshima poison gas manufacturing plant. An important facility for learning about the history of Okunoshima, with buildings and documents used during the war remaining. By visiting the museum, you can experience the island's past. Beautiful natural scenery. The entire island is rich in nature, surrounded by beautiful coastlines and greenery. There are walking trails, so you can enjoy hiking while taking in the nature. Observation deck. There is an observation deck on the island's hilltop, from which you can enjoy a beautiful view of the Seto Inland Sea. The view is especially spectacular at sunset. Campsite. There is also a campsite on the island, where you can experience staying overnight surrounded by nature. You can enjoy stargazing and barbecues. Access by ferry. Ferries to Okunoshima operate from Onamichi City. The journey takes about 30 minutes and the one-way fare is about 520 yen for adults. Schedules vary by season, so it is recommended to check in advance. Access by car. You will need to get to the ferry terminal, which is about 30 minutes by car from Onamichi City, and board the ferry. There are also parking lots available around the terminal. Things to note when visiting. Handle rabbits with care. There are many rabbits living on the island, but because they are wild animals, please be gentle when interacting with them and try not to catch them by force. When feeding your rabbit, it is advisable to use rabbit food. Check ferry status. Ferry operation may change depending on weather and sea conditions. It is important to check operation information and make plans in advance, especially in bad weather. Cherish the natural environment. To help protect the island's natural environment, please take your rubbish home with you and try not to disturb the rabbits and other creatures. Toilets and eating areas. There are limited toilets and places to eat on the island. It is a good idea to bring some snacks and drinks with you in advance. Also, it is recommended to act early as it is expected to be crowded during peak season. Clothing according to season. It gets hot in the summer and cold in the winter, so it's important to dress appropriately for the season. Summary. Okunoshima is a fascinating spot where nature and history come together. In particular, interacting with the rabbits will be a special experience for visitors. This is a place where you can experience history while enjoying nature, so please come and visit. The carefully selected hidden spots in the Chugoku and Shikoku regions that we have introduced this time are hidden spots where you can deeply experience Japanese nature, culture, and history, and are especially recommended tourist spots for foreign tourists who want to avoid crowds. Please come and visit at least once.